Hi Jane, thanks for coming to have a look. I recognise that time is important. I just want to share you a little bit about conversations, which really to me is about transforming relationships and really allowing people to connect on a heart level. And so what I'm going to do now is play the game with you in 10 minutes, which is a game that really can take several hours. And so recognise we're just going to have a really short snap view of what this game is about. What the game we're going to do, it's a cooperative board game, so there's no individual winner. This is the fact that we all win. We're going to have an aspect card in a moment, which I've already given you in front of you. We're going to look at a life card, which is a situation that's happening in life. And then we're going to look at an inspiration card to see how can we move out of the various dramas we have in life. So the first thing we're going to start with are the aspect cards. And the aspect that you have is?
Contribution and service.
And the one I got was personal growth and spirituality, which we said is the third time I've got this today, so there's something in it for me as well. So would you just like to tell us, maybe for about a minute or so, what does that card, what does contribution and service mean for you? And there's a few dot points you can use to help you if you need to.
For me, contribution and service means being available and in an attitude of service, of giving rather than taking, of being not so much volunteer work, but ensuring the best of who I am with the community and with the people around.
Okay. Thank you. And I got personal growth and spirituality again, and it's actually interesting. Every time I see it a different thing. The one that jumps out for me at the moment is that everyone has wisdom. So to me it's like wisdom comes from everyone who plays. It's not just a matter of me giving my wisdom. It's the fact that I can listen to the wisdom of everyone else playing. And in that I learn so much about myself. So that's a really good process in that. So that, if you like, sets us up for the game. And then we move into the life cycle, which I nearly call the drama cards of life, you know. And so what I'm going to get you to do, I'm going to get you just to choose a card here and just to say what that means for you and what does that mean in terms of contribution and service.
Okay. I find it hard to accept criticism. So I can relate to that one. And sometimes it's my own criticism of me that is the hardest for me to accept. And in relation to this one, in relation to contribution and service, I know I can be pretty critical on myself as far as the amount of contribution and service I give away, the amount I want to charge for, because my gift tends to be both my business and my contribution. And so there's a self-critical piece of me that I find hard to accept.
Thank you. Now you get to pass that card to someone else playing, so given it's just the two of us, it's going to be me. And I get to comment from my aspect, not from what you said, because this game works on the fact that no one needs fixing. So I don't actually comment on what you say, I just comment on it from my viewpoint.
Okay.
I've certainly learned a lot from your set and I've sort of taken that in. So for me, I find it hard to accept criticism. I guess for me, from a viewpoint of personal growth, is to recognise that sometimes in criticism, it's actually how I grow the most. And so I may not always like it at times, but it's certainly been something that does support me in becoming a better person. So does that help you at all with that, in terms of that? Or are you happy with that?
Yeah, no, I'm happy, and I learned from what you said as well.
Okay, yep. And that's the purpose. We might have two different ideas, and we both learn from that. So then the last part of the game is we get an inspiration card. We'll just grab one each, and maybe if you just read it, and maybe if we make, say, one sentence each on what that means for us.
It says, walk in full wakefulness rather than one who is asleep. And that means stay alert, stay awake. Smell the coffee. That means don't go into a trance about how I'm doing my life.
Right. And my card says that your highest form of communicating is through feelings. And for me, that's about always going back to a heart space and really connecting with that space. And what I've really liked even about this process is how it's developed. And I've got to understand myself more as well as you. So that's the game in a nutshell, and I guess from here what it's about is recognising that this is a new way of communicating with each other, rather than the old paradigm of having almost like a tennis match of I talk, you talk, I talk. Under this approach we actually are learning from each other and are learning that what you say I can apply to in my life. And so it really helps me to listen more about what's going on, and certainly it helps build a connection between us and I guess whoever else is playing. So I guess from here, the possibilities are, number one is I would like every family to have a game for themselves. I think this would be an ideal process for every family, every couple to be playing together and making a difference. The other possibilities is that there is general facilitation training, of which I know that you're doing today, and with the general facilitation training you can actually use this game to get it out to various groups. And the final stage is we have corporate facilitators who are wanting to take corporate training to a whole new paradigm using an amazing point of difference product. So thanks very much today, G, for coming along, and looking forward to talking to you more.